Dieting often tricks us into thinking that we can have everything we want in our lives if we diet. We can have the body, we can have the partner, we can have everything magically appear for us. And I think when you have done this before, you've fell into that diet trap. You've changed your body, you've limited what you've eaten, and you've realized, I didn't find the happiness or the confidence I was looking for. That was me too. So I'm going to share exactly how I overcame that and truly stepped into everything that I've ever wanted in my life as soon as I ditched the dieting. I'm on a mission on this channel to be able to provide endless support to you in overcoming these struggles with your body, with food that are stealing your life away, and be able to support you into the unstoppable confidence and really, truly getting everything you want in your life. So if that's a mission that you're on board with, drop a like and subscribe to this channel so we can reach even more people. Okay, let's get into all the juicy details, shall we? Let's go somewhere a little bit more comfortable, away from the rooftop where we can really get into this together, where I give you all the juicy secrets. So before we dive into the tips, why am I here sharing this all with you? Why am I qualified? Why are you listening to me? Well, I was able to take my life back from dieting, from the toxic relationship I had with my body, the chronic insecurity, and totally transform my life into stepping into the most abundant, fulfilling career, finding my dream partner, having more joy and gratitude than I ever thought possible, and best of all, never, ever looking at dieting again. And truly conquering all my fears. And now I help women worldwide to accomplish the same thing. And the stories are incredible. I'm helping people move across the country, meet the loves of their lives, leave careers that they hate, all these amazing things that happen from letting go of these core limiting stories that we have about our body, the fears that we inherit around dieting. It's all connected. If you want your dream life, you have to be willing to overcome and rewrite these stories and reprogram your mind around them. So I want to teach you exactly that. Let's dive into tip number 1. So how I stopped dieting and got everything I wanted in my life. Step 1 was really simple. I decided I'm not doing this anymore. I decided that I really hit rock bottom and that dieting had actually given me the opposite of what I thought it was going to give me. I had this false storyline that if I dieted and my body was quote unquote perfect, I was all of a sudden going to meet the magic partner, and it was never enough. My body was never thin enough. I had this constant dialogue of never enoughness, and the fixation and calculation around food and restriction just consumed me. I wasn't able to go out and have drinks with my friends without worrying about what I was eating. I never felt good enough in a bathing suit. There was the stories went on. And in fact, I dieted and restricted and was on that train for so long that I actually burnt my body out. I really harmed my metabolism, and I ended up facing my worst fear, which was gaining weight, because my body did gain 15 pounds from this obsessive sickness around dieting and the mental anguish around it. It wasn't even that I was dieting so intensely. It was that I was pairing this chronic restriction and obsession and fixation with the mental upset, the stress that it caused my body and my life. And so that has really severe negative tolls on your life. And that's what I really want you to hear as well, is that dieting paints a picture that's really all just a giant lie. So I decided I'm going to take my life back. I'm actually going to really decide that I'm not going to be someone who suffers with this anymore. I got really sick of that story. So step number 2 is that, I ditched the diets. I decided, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm going to actually start facing my fears around food, because frankly, none of the lies and stories around dieting actually led me to what I want. So I might as well decide that I'm going to rise up and take this bold action and overcome these fears. So I used EFT tapping to actually overcome those fears around my food. So I am going to show you an example of exactly how you can do this to really start healing that fear that you may have around leaving the diet culture and actually overcoming fear foods that you might have. So for me, I was really afraid of things like carbohydrates and more of the stuff that the diet culture tells us not to eat. So here's what we can do together. I want you to tap where I tap and repeat after me. And we're just going to do a little tapping, which allows us to take energy away from the negativity and the fear and all the thoughts that are controlling us, and actually actively reprograms our mind so that we actually have a completely different reality and experience around the things that were once fearful for us. So a perfect example is I used to be afraid of eating carbohydrates. You wouldn't catch me dead eating a pizza. And now I freely eat pizza, I eat all of those things, and let me tell you this truth. It is such a lie that the diet culture paints that if you eat those foods, you're all of a sudden going to gain a bunch of weight and balloon out. That's more fabrication that they try and teach us so that we stay on that program. We stay hating ourselves to profit that whole industry. So there's so much freedom in stepping away from that. And there's nothing wrong with eating pizza and enjoying food. That's what it's all about. So let's tap where I tap and repeat after me, and I'll show you how we transform this fear into peace. Even though I have this fear that if I stop dieting, I'm going to gain a bunch of weight. I love and accept myself. Even though I am so controlled by dieting, it's almost obsessive. And I'm admitting that I can't totally be present in my life. I love and accept myself. Even though I'm still convinced that dieting can give me everything I want. That somehow if I have that perfect body that I've never been able to achieve, that finally I'll be happy. That finally I'll be confident. But wait, what has dieting actually done for me that's positive? It consumes me. It restricts my life. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. I have anxiety even eating a meal. And anytime I follow these diets, doesn't actually lead me to long-term confidence or feeling better about myself. So what's the catch? There's so much fear in letting go. But I know it's not working for me. All this fear in letting go of dieting. All this fear in letting go of dieting. All this fear in letting go of this control. I don't even know what that would be like. What if I could have peace with food? What if nothing bad happened? What if instead of constantly restricting myself, telling myself I have to eat less, and that I can't eat this because it's going to make me gain weight? What if I could just peacefully enjoy food? Seems so hard to believe. Seems almost impossible to believe that if I stopped dieting, my life wouldn't be ruined. But maybe just for today, I could be open to the possibility that there could be another way for me. That this confidence I've been seeking, this worthiness I've been chasing, doesn't come from restricting food, denying myself of nutrients, restricting my life, And I actually don't even want to be in a relationship with someone who just values my worth based on my body. Because I'm a human being and we're fluid. And our bodies change all the time. And as much as I think I can control that, I can't. Think of all the things I could accomplish in my life. The people I could spend time with and have fun with. The adventures I could go on. The vacations I could say yes to. If I could let go of this fear. Let go of this grip of dieting. Come back to my truth. Come back to my worthiness. And realize none of those things are things I need to chase. That they have nothing to do with the size of my body. That those were all conditioned stories and beliefs. And I'm willing to release them. Okay, so just take a nice, easy breath and notice what you're aware of in your thoughts and your energy. Maybe you're feeling more calm and ease. Maybe you're feeling reflective, you're having some realizations. We have just in that short period of time transformed the energy and intensity around your attachment to diets. And how our brain works is that the more energy and emotion we have between thoughts, the more permanently they get wired into us, into our subconscious, and become automatic programming. So in other words, the more we think something, the more energy it has, the more our brain thinks it, the more it becomes part of our fundamental belief systems. It doesn't mean it's true. That's just where energy flows and emotion goes. That's where we solidify thought patterns. So to be the master of your mind, to really create the reality you want, we have to reprogram those limiting thoughts. And this tapping EFT tool is one of the most paramount evidence-based proven techniques to do that. There's no talking your way out of this in therapy. This is something that you actually need to energetically, emotionally, physiologically, on a complete nervous system level, reprogram to experience the freedom that you want. Trust me, I've been through like 25 years of all different types of therapy. Working with EFT changed my life in a matter of months. And this is exactly what I do with my students and clients, and watch their literal entire lives, every single piece of their lives transform, because the thoughts that we have about ourselves that are limiting, whether it be about dieting, whether it be about your relationship to money, your ability to be intimate with someone, to manifest the partner of your dreams, it's all connected. Every one of those limiting thoughts is what is keeping you trapped inside that prison, and we want to free you from that. So working with EFT was step number 2 in transforming my life, helping me get everything I want and escaping the diet trap. And if you are excited to learn more, you can check out some of these videos here. I have so many more on my channel, so be sure to subscribe and check them out. And you can always book a complimentary call with me. Please don't let yourself suffer anymore. Literally pick up the phone. I want to show you everything you need to transform your life today and to stop letting dieting run your life. Oh my goodness, like I can't think of how many tears, years, months, like vacations, lifelong experiences that I wasted being in the grips of dieting, and you can too be free of this. So I really want you to hear that and know that you can. I know you think, wait, I don't think I can, but you can, and I will prove it to you. Okay, here's tip number 3. I kind of said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I decided to be a rebel, okay? So I tapped into this energy within me that was almost angry and like a frustration towards conditioning, towards the messaging that we receive in our culture, the beauty standards, the diet culture. I started understanding how manipulative it is and how it essentially conditioned me to think so poorly about myself. And I started to think, I can effing outsmart this, okay? I know your little ploys. You want me to feel miserable about myself so that I can actually, hate myself more to then buy the cellulite cream or get this or get that. Like, I've done it all. I've declared before on this channel that I actually had plastic surgery when I was 20 because I was so convinced my body was not good enough that I had to get breast implants. And what do you think happened from that? Did I feel more confident? No. In fact, it created a whole other host of issues and body dysmorphia and self-doubt and just a mess. So I can assure you that really becoming outsmarting the system and deciding that you understand that the whole point of diet culture is to make you feel miserable and think that you'll be more worthy if you're in a smaller body, and realize that that is so messed up and so inaccurate, and that yourself when you're in a smaller body, or you have been from dieting, that it hasn't actually led you to more happiness. That is the key to freedom, because you're deciding, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to let this storyline keep playing through my life, because then I can identify the misery of it all. So that's kind of step 3, is deciding that you're going to be a rebel against it. You're going to rise up and decide that you're going to take your life back. You're going to actually say, I'm not doing this anymore. And the step 4 to that is actually giving yourself the evidence and reminding yourself of that this dieting train is not working, that this diet trap is not working. And I continuously had to bring myself back to realizing that restricting, that actively obsessing about food, that counting calories, that all of it was not leading me to anything good. It was restricting my life. It was squeezing me dry of opportunities. It was making me obsessive about things. It was preventing me from feeling like I had the space to go out with my friends or date. And in the end, as I said, dieting actually led my body to gain weight in the end. So the worst fear I had realized happened from dieting. And the one positive thing I can say from my experience of riding that roller coaster of leaving the diet culture was that I was able to confront that fear that I had about gaining weight and realize and actually heal that storyline for me, where I realized that my worth is not attached to my body or my weight, and that now I'm able to have this gift of having a peaceful relationship with my body, where I know that, I'm going to have kids one day. My body's going to change. It may never come back to looking like this, and that's okay. And the beauty of that is I've manifested a partner in my life that I know loves me inherently for who I am, and is not someone that values me for just the way I look or my body looks. And in the past, all I did was manifest partners that were the opposite, that really focused on that, and that was a huge part of their relationship with me and valued me for that. And that's clearly really unhealthy. So as you break free from the diet culture, you will see how this ripples into all areas of your life, and that you will have so much freedom back. I was just working with a student today who said that since in working together in these very short months in my signature program, she's been able to stop counting calories after 15 years of doing this, stop obsessing over food. She's no longer worried about gaining weight, that this controlled her life for 15 years. She couldn't even have conversations with people and be present because she was so obsessed with that. And now she was able to overcome this in just a few short months, and she started taking singing lessons, and she started feeling so much more productive at work, and she's thinking about moving to a new country, all because she's taken her energy and life back and decided that this toxic culture isn't going to suck her life dry anymore. So, it's not even just about dieting. When we think of dieting, it's so much more than following a plan. Like, dieting isn't limited to that. It's the act of restricting and feeling like you are anxious around food because you don't know what to eat. You have lists of good or bad foods. Like, dieting is a much bigger conversation than simply thinking I'm following Weight Watchers or Atkins or whatever diet, keto, whatever you want to call it. It's actually having a restrictive mindset around food. So maybe you don't even realize that you're in the diet, you're dieting because you've this entire time thought that I'm not following diet, so I'm technically not dieting. I thought the same thing, but then I realized that any type of restriction is actually dieting. So it's time to get out of all of it. And if you want those same results as my beautiful client did, if you're looking to really escape from the claws of dieting, you want to take your life back, you want to manifest everything you want, then 100% call me. I would love to talk to you. I will teach you my ways. We will get you those results. This is what I live for, okay? We are creating this community together. We are rising up and taking names, my friends. Okay, next step. The final step I will suggest right now is to have a spiritual practice, okay? So hand it over. There's so many times when this feels so much bigger than you and you can't seem to find your way through the fear, and you're so stuck in the clause of what's going to happen if I let go of this. I can't let go of my control around food. Something terrible is going to happen, and you can't even get out of that anxiety spiral. So what I would recommend is really getting into a spiritual practice, whether you're religious, spiritual, whatever you identify with in terms of that. Please come back to it, okay? So I literally would get on my knees and pray and say, dear universe, please help me. Please help me. Like, I surrender this all to you. I literally don't know what to do next. I need your support. I can't go through this any longer. I'm in so much pain. I surrender it to you. Please just show me the very next step. And guess what? I was always shown the next step. So I urge you to get in touch with yourself in that way. Realize that there are forces beyond us supporting us at all times, that you're not alone, that there is a vast universe of energy wanting to be on this path with you, to support you, that this struggle will be your biggest healing in so many ways, and that you will be able to live a life that you never thought possible. And that starts with really accepting the support from the universe and leaning on it. And so maybe every day you start a little morning practice of saying an intention like, dear universe, this is what I'm really wanting to heal. Please support me with it. Simple as that. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. I'm open to be shown the next step forward. You don't have to know the answers. You don't have to know what's next, but just being open to hearing the possible answers, being shown them, like show me a sign, you will see them, okay? You're not in this alone. You can check out all these videos here for more proven evidence-based support that will transform your relationship with dieting, food, give you the freedom you're looking for, taking your life back, helping you connect to your unshakable confidence, and having freedom with your body. Like, that is where life begins, honestly. It's not living when we're fighting all that. So I'll say it again, call me anytime. I love you. I'm so grateful for you for being here. I love your comments. So please share in the comments below what was valuable to you. And I will see you again next week.